Hi guys, всем привет! Today we're going to talk about definitive pronouns. Сам, самый, каждый, всякий и любой. Let's look at each of them separately. Some means oneself, and some emphasizes the nature. It puts the emphasis on the person or a subject that we are talking about. It brings more importance to the sentence. For example, if we say, директор издал этот приказ, the director made this order or made this request, and then сам директор издал этот приказ, the director himself made this order, put this request. So the emphasis on the person who made this happen, that he took his time and effort to create this order or request. The director himself made this. Сам директор сделал это. The pronoun самый in the nutshell can be translated as the most. Самый лучший ребенок, the best child. Самый близкий магазин, the closest shop. Самый далекий аэропорт, the furthest airport. Самый красивый цветок, the most beautiful flower, and so on. Then we have каждый, всякий и любой. Every, each, and any. Каждый ребенок любит мороженое. Every child loves ice cream. Всякий ребенок любит мороженое. Each child loves ice cream. И любой ребенок любит мороженое. Any child loves ice cream. So just like in English, you can play with these words. They can be interchangeable in some cases, but the easiest translation is каждый, every, всякий, each, и любой, any. If you look at the pronouns сам and самый, сам emphasizes the importance of the person or a thing. I made this example many times, but still, сам директор сделал этот приказ. The director himself made this order. So you see, himself emphasizes importance of the director. Сам директор. Сам, in this case, plays as an attribute to a noun, noun director. If you look at the pronoun самый, самый means the most when it's an attribute to an adjective, and it means very when it's an attribute to a noun. You will more often see самый as an attribute to an adjective than a noun, but let's look at some examples. Старик со старухой жили у самого моря. The old man and the old woman lived very close to the sea. If we look at this example without the pronoun самого, which is самый in genitive case, it will sound like старик со старухой жили у моря. The old man and the old woman lived by the sea. It doesn't mean that they lived so close to the sea that they opened their windows or opened their doors and just like jump in the ocean or jump to the sea. So when you say самый, it means very, so close to the sea that you can just from your bedroom jump and be in the ocean. It doesn't really change the meaning of the sentence, it just put an emphasis that it's very, very close to the sea. We already know they live by the sea, but we know that they live very close to the sea. Another example is дождь лил с самого утра. It was raining from very morning. From very morning means from very early morning. You don't even have to say early because you say from very morning. So again, if you look at it without the pronoun самого, it will be дождь лил с утра. It was raining from the morning. It doesn't change the sentence when you add the pronoun самого утра, but it emphasizes that it was so early in the morning and it's still raining. So when you say самого утра, you just say it from very morning, from very early morning, it's been raining, and now look at this, it's still raining. It just puts more emotions to the sentence. In these two examples, the pronoun самый was an attribute to a noun, and it emphasized the proximity. And it can also emphasize prominent features when it's attribute to a noun. For example, я понял самую суть вопроса. I understood the very essence of the question or very essence of the matter. So when you say самого, you just emphasize very again. So the meaning of the sentence does not change. Я понял суть вопроса. I understood the essence of the question. But if you say самую суть, you put emotional stress on the sentence. I understood the very essence of the question. So as you can see, when самый is attribute to a noun, it doesn't really change the sentence, but it put more emotional relations. But when the pronoun самый used as an attribute to an adjective, it actually changes the meaning of the sentence. For example, самый близкий мне человек, the closest person to me. If we look at this example without the pronoun самый, it will sound like this. Близкий мне человек. person who is close to me. It doesn't mean that it's the closest person to me. It means just it's close to me, one of many other people that can be close to me. But if you say самый as an attribute to an adjective близкий, it means the closest person to me. So the meaning of the sentence actually changes. And in this case, самый actually meant proximity. Самый близкий мне человек. We can also look at the example when самый emphasizes prominent features. Самая красивая актриса, the most beautiful actress. If you look at this example without самая, it means красивая актриса, beautiful actress. It doesn't mean that it's самая красивая актриса, the most beautiful actress. So you can see when самый is an attribute to an adjective, it means the most, and it plays quite a big role in the sentence. And if you look at it as an attribute to a noun, it can mean very, and sometimes it doesn't really change the matter of the sentence. It doesn't change the meaning of the sentence. Let's look at the pronoun каждый. Pronoun каждый as an attribute to a noun means every, and then as a subject itself, it means everything or everyone. Каждый может это сделать. Everyone can do it. Каждый на своем месте. Everything is on its place. As a subject itself, каждый is used in singular case. But then if каждый is an attribute to a noun, it can be either singular or plural. We can actually look at nominative case, masculine, feminine, neutral, and plural case. For example, masculine. Каждый студент должен сдать экзамен. Every student has to take an exam. And in feminine, каждая студентка должна сдать экзамен. Every student, meaning female student, has to take an exam. And then in neutral, каждое сообщество должно иметь свой логотип. Every community has to have its logo. And then in plural, каждые выходные я езжу за город. Every weekend I drive out of town. So in this case, каждый is an attribute to a noun. It can be either singular or plural, and it can take any gender, masculine, neutral, or feminine. In genitive case, каждый is каждого. As a subject, it can be used as каждого ждет отчисления при несдаче экзамена. Everyone can be expelled if failed the test. Or каждого студента ждет отчисления при несдаче экзамена. Every student can be expelled if failed the test. So in one case, каждого is a subject, and in the second case, каждого is an attribute to a noun, каждого студента. But in any case, the declension actually the same, каждого. And then let's look at dative case. Учитель поможет подготовиться каждому. The teacher will help everyone to prepare. Or учитель поможет подготовиться каждому студенту. The teacher will help every student to prepare. So you see, каждого. In one case, it's a subject, and in the second case, it's an attribute to a noun, студенту. So we looked at the pronoun каждый as a subject when it means everyone or everything, and then we looked at the pronoun каждый as an attribute to a noun when it just simply means every. So now let's go back and look at all of the pronouns. Again, we have каждый, всякий, и любой. All of these pronouns can be interchangeable, but they actually have their own meanings. Каждый, it's every, or everyone, everything, as we just talked about. Всякий is each, and любой is any. The declension of these pronouns is the same as any similar sounding adjectives. Let's look at some of them. So for the pronoun каждый, we can choose adjective железный. For the pronoun всякий, we can choose adjective легкий. И for the pronoun любой, we can choose adjective молодой. So all of the pronouns and all of the adjectives have actually the same endings, and declension pattern for them will be the same. So if you know the declensions for adjectives, you automatically know the declensions for these pronouns. And the opposite, if you learn the declension pattern for these pronouns, you will actually know the declension pattern for similar sounding adjectives. So in nominative case, we have каждый, всякий, любой. For masculine, for feminine, it's каждая, всякая, любая. For neutral, каждая, всякая, любое. И plural case, каждые, всякие, любые. And then in genitive, the ending is ogo for masculine and for neutral. You already should know. Neutral repeats masculine pattern. Feminine is каждый, всякая, любой, ой ending. And for plural case, it's их or их. Каждых, всяких, любых. And again, if you compare it to the adjectives, we have Железный, легкий, молодой. So then in genitive will be железного, легкого, молодого. Железной, легкой, молодой. Железных, легких, молодых. So in one case it will be их ending for plural, or in the other case it will be их ending for plural. So that's a whole difference. And then looking at dative case we have каждому, всякому, любому. Каждой, всякой, любой. And plural каждым, всяким, любым. Accusative case, as always, follows nominative structure when we talk about inanimate, and when we talk about animate, it follows genitive structure for masculine, neuter, and for plural case. And then feminine stays as каждую, всякую и любую. Instrumental case каждым, всяким, любым, каждой, всякой, любой. Masculine is the same for neuter. And then каждыми, всякими, любыми. И prepositional case о каждом, о всяком, о любом, о каждой, о всякой, о любой. Here is the same masculine и о каждых, о всяких, о любых. By default we use the preposition or for prepositional case. Prepositional case. It's always used as a preposition. That's why it's called prepositional. But it can also be the preposition в or preposition на. So в каждом, во всяком, в любом и на каждом, на всяком, на любом. Just be aware of that. It's not always or. It can be also в or на in prepositional case. And I'm not going to go through examples for each case in this scenario because we also looked at the pronoun такой, also такой, такого, такому. This is going to be all the same pattern. So you should just memorize the endings. Or what you can do, you can memorize the endings, you can write them down on a little spreadsheet, you can, every time you see it in a sentence, you'll be aware, that means this case, this word is used in this case. So at some point, it should be very natural to use, but I know it takes a long time to practice. Finally, the last pronoun that we're going to discuss is the pronoun весь. Весь expresses togetherness, generality, fullness. It can be translated as all, or whole, or even everything and everyone. You remember that all of these pronouns, весь, каждый, всякий, любой, can be interchangeable. So sometimes in a sentence, all of them are going to be translated as everything or everyone, because these are such general translations and general words. And all of them kind of mean something similar. We are tweaking and picking to see what's the difference between all of them, but sometimes in a sentence you will just see everything and you'll be like, okay, why am I learning all of these words separately when all of them mean everything? Весь can also be either attribute or a subject. As a subject, let's look at this example. Он весь промок. He was all wet. In this case, the pronoun весь means all, and it follows the pronoun он. So it's masculine just as a pronoun он. Он весь промок. And then if you say feminine, она вся промокла. She was all wet. The pronoun весь attributes noun. Весь класс был на собрании. The whole class was on the meeting. So like in previous examples, it can be either attribute or a subject. So let's look at the examples when the pronoun весь is an attribute to a noun. As I said, весь класс был на собрании. The whole class was on the meeting. Вся группа была на собрании. The whole group was on the meeting. Все сообщество было на собрании. The whole community was on the meeting. И все люди были на собрании. All people were on the meeting. So you see, in some cases it was whole group, and then in plural, все люди были на собрании. It means all people, not whole people, but whole as a group, whole as a class, and then все люди, all people. And then looking at genitive case, in masculine we have всего, in feminine всей, in neuter it repeats masculine, and then in plural it's всех. And let's look at the example. Всего класса не было на собрании. The whole class was not on the meeting, or not the whole class was on the meeting. So it's actually an example of dual meaning, to have a very straight, one-sided meaning of the sentence. We need to rearrange words a little bit, and we can say не было всего класса. The whole class was not there. Let's look at dative case. Masculine всему, feminine всей, neuter is the same as masculine, and plural всем. Всему классу дали задание. The assignment was given to the whole class. If you look at dative case, when the pronoun весь is not an attribute, but a subject, it can sound something like всему свое время. Everything needs its time. And then the example in prepositional case, let's look at plural example. Мы говорили обо всех проблемах. We talked about all problems. Обо всех means about all. Plural case, instrumental. And then in this case, обо всех проблемах is an attribute to a noun. Обо всех is an attribute, noun is проблемах. And then if you look at the example where весь is a subject, it can be something like мы говорили обо всем. We talked about everything. So обо всем in this scenario means everything. Okay, guys, this is it. Soon the topic of the pronouns will be over. We only have like 1 or 2 matters to discuss. Please join the Facebook group if you haven't done so, The Art of Russian, and join our weekly calls. On Wednesdays, we do grammar Zoom calls at 6 p.m. Pacific time, San Francisco time. We are discussing the subjects that I talk about during the video. So in this case right now, it's Весь, Всякий, Каждый, Любой. So if it's a matter of your interest, please join. And what else? Subscribe to the channel, give me some likes, give me some motivation to work.
Не открывая замки, я буду вспоминать, как горели огни и от любви умирать. Может, рядом с тобой нам было хорошо, что-то там за спиной меня так обожгло. Нежное обними, нежная опять, мою руку возьми, чтобы вместе упасть.